So your reaction to parents who were stressed out was to study, and was that to prepare yourself for a life of independence, financial independence? That resonates with me because I'm I'm one of 6 kids who grew up in a house run by devout Catholics who were Depression-era parents. Okay. And it was about guilt, and it was about frugality and all of that. And we had everything we needed, but I internalized this stress around money as if, someday I just have to outwork that stress. And by the way, you can't do it.
Oh no, don't tell me the ending. Because I ended up in stbarths semi-permanently from 2015 with my family as a little experiment, like to escape the tiger mom of the elite London private education. And the time came where we were to return, and I couldn't. And the thing was, I felt like I owed the 10-year-old kid. I was like, it's your turn now. Right. And there's an elixir of joy that I find just in this beautiful, sun-drenched, beautiful location. But you're right. It doesn't matter where you are. It's not necessarily the recipe to success. What type are you? You must have had, So I am, and this really cracks me up. I've come to learn that I am an ambivalent attached type, right?
An ambivalent attached type. What does that mean?
It means I'm really messed up. So again, one of my other stock and trade things was I'm really into channeling irony and paradox.
Right.
Okay. So attached. I am desperate to be loved. Desperate. You see me on stage and I give everything.
Sure. Yeah.
As people might question, I should get my hair cut and I should dress.
Oh my God. I'd kill for your hair. Come on. What are you talking about?
But, and so it goes back to that housing project. My mother was on, diazepam, because it was my father.
That's what they were stealing in Train Spotting, I think.
Yeah. I mean, but my father was a truck driver, and he was away really early.
Yeah.
And we were really being rejected by the community. And so his mission was that my mother was to take my brother and I out of the community each day and then come back later on, creating detachment. And then my mother being a little bit, not whacked out. I mean, I don't wish to suggest that, but so I'm desperate to be attached. I went on my first date, and, I've been together for 35 years until June, unfortunately. But, that type. And why am I no longer together with my wonderful, I say ex-wife, and it's just so painful. But because of the ambivalence. Yeah. So regardless of how much I want it, I kind of need me time.
Yeah.
And it's like, of all the damn types, why did I have to have that?
When you started, you said you sacrificed your adolescence to prepare for this future. What were you reading that was turning you on, that was sort of pointing you in the direction that you ended up going?
I was, well, first of all, I was listening to Simple Minds.
Yeah, right.
And now I speak a little bit to Jim Kerr, which is a bit of a thrill. And that was people from my upbringing, if you will, who were out there and challenging the world, challenging the perimeter, the frontier fences that kept you caged in, and were exploding with creativity. I'd love to tell you that, for me, it was when I heard this Bowie song or whatever, and I was like, I'm going to be the front man of this band, and we're going to rock, we're going to change the face of rock music.
Yeah.
Sadly, I have to say it was market-based accounting research. I'm not proud to say that, but at least I'm being transparent.
Don't you forget about me or generally accepted accounting principles.
But so I was at university, and I had I did an honours year, which is the 4th year, and that was again another thing I have to say. I was studying accountancy and economics because a kid whose father's a truck driver, you're reaching to be a lawyer or an accountant.
Right.
That's as far as you can see.
Yeah, for sure.
And then in my 4th year, we had this data stream terminal, which is it's the prehistoric version of Reuters or, of course, Bloomberg. But it was the chart depiction of stock prices. And you were then to test hypotheses. And it became Shakespearean, The Tempest. You had a null hypothesis, which was this accounting policy would not change cash flow and therefore should have no bearing on the valuation. The stock price shouldn't register. And you would set it all up and you would sit there and you would watch and the tempest would reveal itself. And I was captivated by that. That was my rock canyon.
What did it do for you? Why did it light a fire in you?
So my detachment as an adolescent, I had no vices. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I mean, drugs, there weren't any drugs back then, I didn't go to parties. I didn't have a girlfriend.
I found a few drugs back then. Maybe not in Glasgow. I don't know what's going on.
It came a bit later, But I had, nothing, nada. Yeah. Study. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Did you want to put it to the man? Did you feel like you wanted to show the Etonian crew that you could do it? Like, was there any bit of that?
That came later. So, I was a smart kid and I received a financial sponsorship to sign up with an accountancy group at the end of my studies. And 6 months before then, I was very much modeling my appearance on Mickey Rourke in the wonderful movie Angel Heart.
Oh, yeah.
And I had this kind of brown
New Orleans,
suit. Yeah, oh my God. Elisa Bonet and all that. And watch it now. Like, movies don't age because of the technology change. It is still, what does Lisa Bonet say? It's always the badass that makes a girl's heart beat faster. Yeah. There's no greater wisdom than that. But
so you wanted to be that guy? You wanted to be the rock star?
Oh my God, I wanted to be Mickey Rourke so bad. And I had this green. Doesn't sound Mickey Rourke when I say green woolen cardigan. That was something I was also big. The one vice I tell you I had, heavens forgive my spiraling mind, but the one vice I had, which went on to shape part of my life, is I had a fascination for French culture because I wasn't drinking and whatever. I go to the Glasgow Art Theatre, and at the time there was this incredible creative outpouring from French cinema. Betty Blue, 37,5 degrés dans le matin, and I mean this begins with full-on bonking, right? Yeah. I mean, really, there's no stimulation. It's really happening, and I'm like, eating popcorn, going, oh my God. And then the guy, stands up and he pours himself coffee into a bowl and has a cigarette. And I thought, they drink coffee in bowls and they have real sex. Where do I sign up? And I'm very happy to say that here I am and I now live. I speak French. Maybe I'll do the bonking. I drink coffee from a bowl. Yeah. And my life feels like tick. I achieved that. But to the point, the more important point, not drinking and being somewhat therefore kind of not having that lubrication. I was a watcher. I was fascinated by the drama. I recorded everything. And so it appealed when I was watching the tempest appear and these price patterns and these hypotheses. It very much lent into my depraved social kind of activities.
And how does that translate into your early career?
Because we stick it to the man. So I get a job. Serendipity. Serendipity has, without a doubt, co-joined itself to my determination to move on. And the serendipity was there was this extremely good pension manager based in Edinburgh. And they always recruited 4 kids each year, and they used the filter of the education system. They went to the top and they took kids from Cambridge and Oxford. I just don't have an issue with that. However, they were seeking to expand into the United States, and it was difficult. And so they appointed consultants, and a consultant, if there ain't a solution, invent something, just say something. So they said, we're worried about the lack of gene diversity in your recruitment policy. We worry that you're kind of sitting on deck chairs eating cucumber sandwiches and watching the cricket, which actually time to time was actually quite true. And so they said, recruit locally. And my little application sails in. And I get the job. And I get the job because I'm local and I'm brimming. I'm like, I have a vibration. I vibrate differently.